Hi and welcome along to another episode of the Wedding Band Show with myself, Brian McDermott. This is a very quick episode. It's busy season, so I've just said I'd go over the top questions that we all get asked. This might help you in your planning if you haven't thought of a few of them, and I'll try and go as best I can in order. So I suppose the first question is fairly obvious, but are the band available? It's always better to go to a band with a few dates rather than one. So if there's a band you really want, talk to them very early on in the planning. How much do you charge? The average price in Ireland for a wedding band at the minute seems to be still in around 2,500. Now this all depends on how many members, travel expenses, all that kind of thing. But I'd be budgeting somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000, and that should get most bands. Now still there'll be bands above and below that, but I think if you budget 2,500 to 3,000, you'll be safe. Can we see the band live? It's always good if you can to catch your wedding band live in action. Some bands do pub gigs, some bands do showcases. And if you can't get to one of those, look out for the live footage online. You can always tell the difference between the live stuff and the kind of mimed promo videos. Now, we don't do any showcases or pub gigs. I just can't stand them. I think pub gigs for different reasons, but showcases, I just don't think there's any atmosphere, which makes it hard for the band to play. I like to kind of have the dance floor and the crowd. But then, like every band is different, and maybe that's the only way you can get to see them. I'd say look for, even if you see a band at a pub gig or a showcase, check out their live footage online. If there isn't that much, it might be a little bit of a red flag. Nearly all the good wedding bands have loads of live footage online now. Is it the same lineup every night? This is an important one. When you're looking for a band, if you're booking them online or at a showcase, just ask and make sure that it's the exact same lineup that's going to turn up at your wedding. There are agencies out there that'll send out, you'll book the name and any random 5 or 6 guys could turn up to your wedding. That could be great. Like, they could be great on the night. I'm not saying they're not good at what to do, but just be aware of that, and I'd just ask and make sure, double check that it's going to be the exact same lineup that's going to turn up to your wedding that you see in the promo videos and at the showcase. How do I secure the date? Normally a wedding band will take a small booking fee of in around 10%, and this will come off your final balance. Usually as well, this is non-refundable because once you book the wedding band, that date is blocked off in the diary, so any other couples looking for that date then will be turned away. So just be aware of that, but normally it's in around 10%. Can you send us a set list? I'm terrible at keeping our own set list on the website updated, but I think every wedding band has some kind of set list on their website. Now, to be honest, I think it's a little bit of a waste of time. Maybe early on, before you book a band, have a look at their set list. But in general, wedding bands are playing to fill the floor. So, and all you're going to do is see a set list and go, I don't like that song, I don't like that song, don't like that song. But you're going to tie their hands if you ask them not to play those songs. Within reason, if there's songs that you really can't stand, one or two, it's, the band should be able to leave them out, no problem. But in general, I think looking at a set list and going, we don't like that song or that song or that song is a bad idea. What time will our first dance be at? This is always completely random. It depends on loads of things, the length of the speeches, the crowd size, the meal, the venue. But the average times are, the meal starts about 5:30. The band usually arrives between 7:30 and 8. The meal and the speeches are all over about 8:30. The first dance should be 9:30. The evening food is about 10:45 to 11. And then the band hands over to the DJ about 12:30. And the disco runs until about 2. Some venues will allow 2:30, but 2 o'clock is the average finish time for everything. Our venue said you have to use their in-house PA system. So I'd say tell your venue, go I don't want to mess it. It happens in some venues and some bands mightn't have a problem with it, but we will only use our own PA system. It doesn't make sense not to. There's a 99% chance the PA system your band have is better than the in-house one. And it'll also take longer to sound check because it's a whole new system. Now, there might be exceptions where the in-house system is unbelievable, and that would be great. If every venue had their own in-house system that was unbelievable and we just turned up with instruments, that would be great, but it's a long way away from that. So I would say If the venue tells you to do that, ask them why. Try and get a straight answer as into why your band can't bring in their own PA system. Usually there isn't one. And it's a way better to just let your band use their own system. Can you learn our first dance? This is a common question, and I think most wedding bands will learn a first dance with enough notice. I always say about 2 months is great. We've had a few more last minute ones, but if you can give your band at least 2 months notice, I'd say they should be able to learn your song. What time should the evening food be at? This is always completely random. It depends on what time the first dance was at, on the venue, the crowd. I would say, as a general rule, in around an hour and 15 minutes after the first dance. That kind of puts it in the middle of the band set, which is good. Plus, I think if for any reason your wedding runs late and the first dance is after 10:30, we generally keep going. We don't stop. I think, stopping at 11:30 is a bit on the late side. So again, every wedding's completely different. I don't like when the tea break is near the end of the band set. I think at that point, you put it between the band and the disco. So either the middle of the band set or between the band and the disco. So that would be, in around an hour and 15 minutes after the band starts. So that's it for this little episode of the Wedding Band Show and the top 10 wedding band questions in Ireland. I think the main takeaway is just engage with your band as much as possible from the very start when you're picking a few dates right up until a few days before when it comes to evening food time and stuff like that. So that's it for this episode. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons and comment and do all the social media stuff. Blah.